When Abe came here for his first speech, the first thing he told you was, we don't care about the intent of Barack Obama. As long as what he did was harmful for the world, even if he had the best intentions, we still think it's a harm. Team UAE have seemed to have forgotten that. They tell us that Obama had good intentions, that his diplomacy was with good intentions, but they don't tell us how the diplomacy has done good in the first place. They tell us that Obama, with his sanctions in Iran and his sanctions in Russia, was diplomatic and it was good. But I will tell you why it isn't in the first place. But to deal with their analysis that Obama inherited this conflict, so he does not have a responsibility towards this conflict in Iraq, this doesn't sit well with side proposition at all. Because when Obama took the oath to become the President of the United States of America, he took the oath for all of US present actions and all of US's past actions, because that's the responsibility of the President of the United States of America. Just because it was George W. Bush who did it, does not mean Obama does not have the responsibility to solve it. And they tell us that Obama did the best that he could, but we will tell you, and Abe did tell you, that he could have done more. Because when he left Iraq, he cut and run, ladies and gentlemen. He did not leave a stable government. And because there was this huge power vacuum, no thank you, because there was this huge power vacuum, it was filled by first Iran, it was filled by ISIS, and it was filled by the Kurdish fighters. The people of Iraq are hurt, ladies and gentlemen. They tell us that Obama has bettered human rights because he has some LGBTQI people better. But we will tell you, firstly, this is not part of his foreign policy. There was just a consequence of his domestic policy. But even if it were part of his foreign policy, it doesn't matter, because the rights of LGBTQ, which he hasn't increased, because they didn't tell us where the rights of LGBTQI people have been better, and they didn't tell us how it hasn't been better. We will take you the example of Russia, where being gay is still illegal, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen, the human rights atrocities happening in the Middle East and Levant weigh much more than this, because they are being actively killed. Their entire human rights is being destroyed. So we see this as a minor incident. And they tell us that Obama Obama is restricted by the Congress, but so is each and every US president. It is Mr. Obama's responsibility to work with Congress and to work through Congress for the Obama administration to give the best results that they can. Now, dealing with some of their rebuttals, no thank you, and dealing with some of their rebuttals, they tell us that diplomacy is better, that they have done sanctions against Russia and Iran, and they have better relationships with Cuba. First, I will deal with the Iran argument and the destabilizing of the Iranian nuclear program directly in my constructive, and I will flag it when I do so. But with the idea of Russia, yes, he did have sanctions against Russia, but what did it lead to, ladies and gentlemen? Crimea is still annexed. Ukraine still thinks Russia is oppressing them, and Russia has not felt anything. The ruble crashed, yes, but Russia is not still doing the right things, ladies and gentlemen. These sanctions have led to nothing. They tell us that if there were military in Iraq, ISIS, there would be more terrorism. But his demilitarization, his disengagement from ISIS came at the wrong time, ladies and gentlemen. His disengagement came when one of the biggest terrorist groups came into the world. Abe gave you the analysis of how maybe Obama's foreign policy did create ISIS, but even if it didn't, his disengagement created one of the biggest global fears in decades. People from Tokyo to Washington DC, everyone is scared of ISIS, and because Obama's disengagement, we see this as a direct flaw. Now, moving on to my constructive, Abe told you why USA needs to be the world's policeman. They conceded with that, and because now that they have conceded that, we will judge on how USA has been the world's policeman. Now, we talked to you about the situation of ISIS. Now, talking about the credibility of the United States of America, when Bashar al-Assad carried out killings of civilians, Obama drew a red line. We all know this. Obama said that if there is anything else that Syrian government does, USA will react. And when Obama had proof that Bashar al-Assad, with chemical weapons, ladies and gentlemen, killed 1,500 civilians, Obama did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. What did this lead to? This led to the decrease of the credibility of the United States of America. No, thank you. Because of this issuing of empty threats, when you cock a gun, ladies and gentlemen, you should be ready to shoot it. Because Obama did not shoot the gun, it removed the deterrence against these unethical regimes that the United States of America will come and stomp you if you do any human rights violation. But more than that, it told a little guy that the United States of America does not have your back anymore. And because they agree that the United States of America needs to be the world's policeman, this is directly against this policy. Now, I will deal with why under Obama, US allies grew distrustful of USA, but before that, yes, go on.
It's successful foreign policy when Obama's sanctions against Uganda result in the removal of a bill that would make homosexuality a punishment by death.
Like I already told you, the LGBTQI issue is very minor. We need to look at the emotion. More harm than good, ladies and gentlemen. We concede that Obama may have done one or two goods, but because in a grand scheme of things, Obama largely has done more harms in the creation of ISIS. And like I will give you the rhetoric of US allies being distrustful of the USA. Now they tell us that the Iran deal was a good thing. Maybe it was a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know that. But, ladies and gentlemen, the Iran deal was largely disputed by Israel before it was signed and after it was signed. Israel is a very important ally to the United States of America. It is US's only true ally in the Middle East. It is important geographically and it is important politically. And because Israel now is distrustful of the United States of America, because now Israel does not have a true, USA does not have a true ally in the United States of America, it is wrong. And this is one of our arguments. Now the other argument that the killing of bin Laden, yes bin Laden was a bad guy, yes that was a good thing to kill him, but how did he do it, ladies and gentlemen? He undermined Pakistani sovereignty. He went in without warning the Pakistani military, and doing so Pakistan also grew distrustful of the United States of America. Because of that, now Pakistan is acting unilaterally against the United States of America. This has hindered the fight against Taliban that before United States of America and Pakistan were together against. And because it has hindered the fight against Taliban, the few months that Al-Qaeda was destroyed, they have reorganized and restructured, but now Taliban is even stronger than before. Now Obama has also continually alienated Asia, an important global force. They tell us that they're disarming the Middle East, but they are rearming Japan. They are telling Japan to encourage and exercise your military, and this has alienated China, along with the signing of the TPP, which China was left out of. And because his pivot from Asia was against, that is why we are proud to propose.